The female ghost grinned and walked slowly. Her empty eyes flashed coldly, completely unaware of the changes that had taken place in Chen Chang'an. Soon, she came to Chen Chang'an, her sharp teeth opened and closed, ready to bite off Chen Chang'an's head. But at this moment, Chen Chang'an raised his head and stared at the female ghost, and there was no more fear in his eyes. The corners of his mouth rose, and the thoughts in his heart moved. In an instant, the female ghost froze in place, completely unable to move. The female ghost is dumbfounded. How is this going? Why can't you move all of a sudden? What did you do? The female ghost screamed and questioned Chen Chang'an. The Chen Chang'an in front of him was clearly just an ordinary person, and there was no mana fluctuations emanating from his body at all. However, the female ghost was very clear in her heart. She knew that her inability to move must have something to do with him. Chen Chang'an smiled. This invincible field is indeed a blast. Chen Chang'an murmured, then clenched his right hand into a fist. Next, let me see how strong the invincible domain is. Although the female ghost was extremely frightened, she still scorned Chen Chang'an, an ordinary person, and said sarcastically. Just because you are an ordinary person, your attack is useless to me. Not necessarily. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Chang'an used all his strength to slam the female ghost with a fist. The seemingly ordinary punch landed on the female ghost. The female ghost originally had a look of contempt, but when her body touched her fist, her face suddenly changed greatly, suddenly panic. In an instant, it was annihilated by Chen Chang'an's punch, and not even the scum was left. Chen Chang'an blinked, looking at his fist, somewhat surprised. As expected of the invincible field, this punch doesn't seem to be very powerful, but it actually killed the female ghost. At the same time, in the sky above the immortal temple, a fist shadow appeared, as big as a giant mountain, majestic and majestic. Earth-shaking. It even directly blasted Qianju out of a huge hole, reaching the upper realm. There was thunder and roaring, and it suddenly rained heavily. From that huge hole, a fairy light hangs down, illuminating the 9 heavens. An immortal sword flew out of the huge hole and slashed straight at the fist shadow. The sword light is as vast as the sea, the immortal power is turbulent, and it has shocked countless powerful monks in an instant. In particular, the demons and ghosts running rampant in the 100,000-strong mountain were suppressed by this terrifying immortal power, and they squatted on the ground, shivering. In Yuju, Zhujianzong, a man in Xingyu was cultivating, the void was turbulent, and the majestic qi and blood flowed from the body like that mountain torrent and huge waves were erupting. Suddenly, he felt something in his heart, and suddenly opened his eyes from the practice, and suddenly rushed out of the sect gate, looking in the direction of the 100,000 mountains. His eyes were hot and full of shock. Such a terrifying immortal might, could there be immortal treasures falling into the lower realm? In the ghost state, the ghost skeleton sect was thousands of feet high in the sky, and the clouds were surging. The vision of heaven and earth must be a fairy treasure coming into the world. At this moment, many powerhouses are looking in the direction of the 100,000 mountains. Above the 9 heavens of Faxian Mountain, the immortal sword splits the sky, smashing the fist shadow. Like the 9-day Milky Way falling down, in an instant, the whole night is as bright as day. But at the moment when the immortal sword collided with the fist shadow, there was a sound. The fairy sword actually cracked under the shadow of the fist, and the light emitted by the sword body was dim, as if it had lost all power. It fell from the 9 heavens to the lower realm. As for the terrifying immortal power that erupted from the immortal sword before, it also completely dissipated, as if it had never happened before. The shadow of the fist dissipated, the hole in the sky gradually healed, the earth was once again shrouded in darkness, and the entire 100,000 mountain returned to its former calm. Almost at the same time, when the 100,000 mountains returned to their former calm, there were several powerful forces. They sent strong men to rush to the place where the vision of heaven and earth broke out. Everyone knows that it is the vision of the immortal treasure coming into the world. Their only purpose is to win the fairy treasure at all costs. In the immortal temple, Chen Chang'an didn't know that his seemingly insignificant punch actually smashed the sky into a hole. There was even an immortal treasure that he blasted down from the upper realm. He was still immersed in the joy of killing the female ghost with one punch, and couldn't help but burst into tears. 3 years, 3 years. His golden finger is finally here. He knew that God would never forget him. And this world is too dangerous. With the invincible domain system, I finally don't have to be afraid anymore. System prompt. The host obliterates a chi-refining 3rd level female ghost and gains 10 domain value. Field value, what? Chen Chang'an was stunned for a while, and couldn't help asking the system. The system responded, every 100 points of field value can increase the range of the invincible field by 1 meter. The current host's invincible field is 2 meters. Chen Chang'an's eyes lit up, it was so. His current invincible field is only 2 meters. To tell the truth, although strong and fierce, it is really short and weak. But seeing the power of the system, Chen Chang'an only had one goal. That is to expand their invincible field. Become bigger and stronger, become thick and powerful.